Okay, I had two people ask me questions today over inverse functions. So I'm going to look at two problems. They sent me their questions from the homework. I am not going to actually do the exact problem, but I'm going to do one just very similar. The process is the same. It just has different numbers. So the first one is y equals 2 square roots of x plus 6, and it wants us to find the inverse of the function. So remember, the first step in finding the inverse is to make sure that I have y in my equation, and I do. Then the second step is to switch the x and the y. So I'm going to do that next. So I'm going to get x equals 2 square roots of y plus 6. Now I've got to solve this equation for y. So to do that with my order of operations, I've got to get rid of the 2, I've got to get rid of the square root, and I've got to get rid of the plus 6. So in order to get the y by itself, I can't divide by the 2 first. I have to do the addition and subtraction. So I'm going to subtract the 6 over first. I'm going to get x minus 6 equals 2 square roots of y. Okay, now I need, still trying to get that y by itself. I got to get rid of, before I can get rid of the square root, I got to get rid of the 2. It's being multiplied, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So this thing's going to look like, remember there's a 1 in front of that x, and I can split this left-hand side up and get 1/2 x minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. Equals the square root of y. Still don't totally have y all by itself. So to get it all by itself, I have to get rid of the square root. In order to get rid of the square root, we square both sides. So my square and my square root is going to cancel. I'm going to get y equals the square root of 1/2 x minus 3. And they should let you put that in as your answer. And then the second problem was still to find the inverse. So we're still find the inverse of the function. And I'm going to make up another problem. I'm not going to do the exact one. I'm going to do one that is similar. Let's see. F of x equals, let's do the cube root of x plus 4. Okay. So first thing I have to do is make sure I have a y in my equation. Well, I really don't. I have f of x, but we know that f of x and y are the same thing. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals the cube root of x plus 4. First step. Next step, to find the inverse, I have to switch the x and the y value. So it's going to become x equals the cube root of y plus 4. After I switch, I have to get the y by itself. So I've got to do the addition subtraction first. I'm going to add or subtract that 4 over. X minus 4 equals the cube root of y. Just like to get rid of the square root, I square the whole thing. To get rid of the cube root, I'm going to cube the whole thing. And then the cube and the cube root go away. And I'm left with y equals x minus 4 to the 3rd power, all cubed. Now, I do want to go back really quick and look at the first one that I did. Some of these ask for you to find 4 points that are in the inverse. Now, any function has a unlimited amount of points, an infinite amount of points. So it's not looking at for any specific points. But in order to find 4 points, so we're going to do that next. Find 4 points in inverse. All I'm going to do is take 4 numbers, does not matter what those numbers are, and I am going to plug them in to that inverse function that I just found. I'm going to try to use the easiest points I can. I'm going to use 0 first. Again, you can use any numbers because any numbers hopefully, maybe should work. Let's see, if I plug in 0, I'm going to get 1/2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 is -3. Well, the square root of -3 is a complex number. It's imaginary, so I can't use that. So let's rethink. Let's see. What if I use 4? And some of these you're just going to do some trial and error. If I use 4, half of 4 is 2. 2 minus 3 is -1. That still isn't going to work because that's still an imaginary number. So let's keep going up. Let's use 6 maybe as my x value. Half of 6 is 3. Remember, I'm just plugging right back into this equation. So half of 6 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. The square root of 0 is 0. Got a point. Okay, so I'm going to pick another one. I'm going to keep going up in numbers because I know I'm going to get out another positive. You can use 7. I am not, because I know I had to take half of it. And that's just going to lead me to fractions and decimals. So if I'm taking half of a number, why not use an even number? So let's just use 8. Half of 8 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. There's another number. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going. I can use 10. Half of 10 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. The square root of 2 is just the square root of 2. And then I'm going to do another one. Let's do, say, 12. Half of 12 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. The square root of 3 is just the square root of 3. Okay, so if you have to find points from your inverse, you're just going to take that function that you solve for once you switched your x and your y's, and you're just going to pick numbers. Again, it doesn't matter what numbers, as long as they give you real numbers. When you plug them in, you can plug in any numbers because there's an infinite amount of numbers on a graph. So hopefully this will help with a few of your problems on your homework. Again, I did not do exact problems that were sent to me. I changed them up just a bit. So hopefully those will work. Again, email me. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need me to work any others out or similar ones, I will be glad to. Just email them to me and I'll make a short video and send it out.